Hello, everybody. I am Seth, and thank you for watching this channel today. We're going to be talking about page objects. I'm going to talk a little bit quietly because my wife is sleeping. So I do apologize for less volume right here. I'm going to use my radio DJ voice. I don't have a radio DJ voice, but I'm going to try to be quiet here. So jumping into it, we're going to learn about page objects. I'm going to write this in Typescript and show you the website that we're going to be working on here. Okay, so here we go with the website. It is just a demo website, demoblaze.com, and it's just a fake storefront. It's not a real website at all. And it's made for demoing stuff and doing performance testing and things like that, but we're going to use it for our tests. So what I want to make a page object for, it's easier to kind of use a page object and understand what it does, but a page object basically encapsulates either a page, or how I like to use it most of the time is reusable elements on the page. So today, what I want to do is just take this nav bar right here, which will be the logo and all these menu options right here. So it's the navigation menu. And that's basically what we're going to make a page object for, because if you go to a different page, like if I click on this, that navigation menu still exists and you want to reuse it. So when you have reusable elements, or you have a lot of complexity in your page and you want to make it more readable, use a page object. Let's go back to the home page here. So let's first set up page objects in general in our project. So right here I have the nightwatch.conf.js in our project. And if you look in here, there is a page objects path. You're going to have to put a directory in here. So I'm going to put page objects. And we're going to have to create that directory. Nightwatch won't do it for us. So I go over here and just create a folder, name it exactly the same thing, page objects. And inside this page objects is where all our page objects will be. Sorry, I couldn't talk for a second there. You can't make subfolders. If you make subfolders, you're going to have to add more page object paths. But for now, just one folder, all your page objects in that folder. In a future video, I'll go over separating out the folders. So let's call this one navigation.ts. And module.exports equals. So there are multiple things you can do with a page object, but for this thing, I'm just going to keep it simple. We're just going to focus on the elements section. And elements is just a whole bunch of selectors. So for our project here, our selectors are going to be like this logo, the home, contact, about us, cart, login. So you can make a whole bunch of friendly names, things that mean something to you, instead of ugly CSS selectors that I'm spitting everywhere. Instead of CSS selectors that like aren't easy to read. So if you say logo, someone knows what that means. And we're going to also, I'm just going to put home and contact. If you want to put the rest, that is up to you. But for this one, I'm just going to do home and contact. Logo, home, and contact. Home and contact. And I've already gone through and figured out the CSS selectors in here just to save us a little bit of time. But this one, if you want to do things yourself, you can go and inspect things. Sorry, I'm using Firefox, but you can do similar things with Chrome. In fact, when I run the test, it's going to be in Chrome. Don't ask, I just make things confusing for no good reason. So anyway, this product thing, you see it has an ID of Nava. So that's pretty easy to write a CSS selector for. So hashtag Nava. The rest of these are a little bit more difficult. They are all under this nav And they have, let's see what lights up here. We got an unordered list, and they're all lists of these URLs. So I'm gonna index into these LIs here using the nth child notation. So it's a nav, and underneath the nav we have the list item, an nth child. I think number 1 is going to be that home. And we want to click that link right there. And similar, nth child 2. And that'll give us the contact. Now let's write a little thing that just clicks that contact button. Because if we click that contact here, you'll see it gives us this little popover to the little contact form. So let's see if we can do that in our test. Go over here to our test directory. Let's create a new file in there. Call it a nav menu.ts. And I'm going to have to import. I always forget what this is. It's always like an weird import. Yeah, the import Nightwatch API from Nightwatch. At least I have to do it. I feel like I did something wrong in my setup that I have to copy this over at the beginning of each test. But oh well, here we are. Let's do that. I'm going to use the Mocha syntax here. Let's see, describe nav menu. Do a test here. Call it click contact. We want to make sure to pass in the browser object here, or else if you try to use the global browser object, it won't work very well for you. Just ignore what I said right there. Don't complicate it. Don't complicate it. So let's go to the home page, browser.url, browser.base URL. Set that to be the demo blaze project. And now we're going to grab our page object. It's pretty easy. So let's define constant here. Let's call it our nav menu equals. We're going to call browser.page. And then page gives us that dot to navigation. That's the name of the file that we set for that. You don't have to put TS or anything like that. Just browser.page.navigation. And it'll find that and it'll return that object for us. And what we want to do is click on that contact. So we have the little friendly name, oops, right here of contact. Let's see how to use that really quick. It's going to be nav menu dot click. And here we're going to put the friendly name at contact. So we put the little at symbol there, and then the friendly name we gave that thing, and that will reference that CSS selector. That's a lot easier to read. Instead of doing like browser.element and then typing in nav li nth child to whatever and then click. Instead, you got this nav menu. Like, cool, I'm operating with a navigation menu and I'm clicking contact button. Makes sense. You can read it. That's why that's kind of the power of a page object. It makes it more readable. That's what I'm saying. You have to kind of use it to understand the power of page objects. Let's see what happens. I want to put a little pause here for a few seconds so we can see that nav menu pop up. And if I did everything right, should be able to run this. So I'm going to type in here, npx, Nightwatch. Do this in Chrome. And test And this was nav menu test. See what happens. Fingers crossed. Boom. There you go. So I'll leave it as an exercise for you if you want to go through and fill out. Basically, it's copying and pasting and adding 3, 4, 5, whatever to these CSS selectors. Or you can use different set of CSS selectors if you think of a better way. I am not that great with CSS selectors. I always just write, I prefer to put data test IDs into the code and test with data test IDs. But I didn't write this website, so I have to use what we have. And I think that happens at people's jobs all the time too. They can't change things, so they're stuck with what they got. But yeah, this is a nice way, especially if you're stuck with what you got and you have these long, ugly CSS selectors, being able to like alias them into something nice like this. It's really cool. Oh, that's right. There's another thing I wanted to show you. Going back to this test. Just to prove that it's a reusable thing, let's go to a different page. Let's back to this website. If you're on the home page, you want to click this little galaxy store right here. Let's see, inspect out. I'm going to copy. I'm just going to cheat and copy the CSS selector from there. It's not really the important part of this. So what if we went to the home page? That's what this browser.url does. And then let's say we got that Samsung Galaxy that I just selected from there. And we click on that. That'll take us to an entirely different page. And now we're going to be on a completely different page than the home page. And then we're referencing this contact thing. Should be the same since the same menu is there. So let's run it, see what happens. Actually, I'm going to put a little pause right here, browser.pause for like 2 seconds, just so we can see we went to a different page. And it didn't click the contact? It did. I forgot. I waited 2 seconds. Oh, I'm getting sleepy. And that's basically it. Yeah, that's using a page object. We're going to go into depth a lot more into this in future. I can't talk and things are falling off my desk. Oh my god, I am so tired. I shouldn't be recording right now, but I'm doing it. That was a page object. We're going to go into a lot more detail on page objects. This is just dipping our feet in, but just with that alone, you can make a ton of page objects and do quite a bit and help make your life a lot easier with testing. So I hope you enjoyed that. We're going to have more in the very near future. And cheers, everyone. Catch you in the next video.